Hello student. In previous lecture we have an introductions of this subject. Okay. Here uh, in this subject of fifth standard there are many lessons, but all the lessons are introductory. So now onwards, from the fifth standard, in science, we have very basic concept which we have to understand in this year. Okay. Now we will start from lesson 1, that is our earth and our solar system. Okay. As we know, in our solar system there are many celestial bodies present in the universe. Our solar system is also a part of this universe. Okay, there are many stars and planets. Among them, the sun is a star. It is a closer to the earth, so we saw the sun as a big star from which we get energy as a sunlight. There are many stars or heavenly bodies which twinkles in the space. That stars are so long that their light hardly reach to us. So that stars look like twinkling, but the sun has its own solar system or planetary system, and it is very much near, so we get sunlight. Another celestial body, that is planets, the heavenly bodies that do not twinkle or they do not have their own light, and that planets revolve around the sun, and many of them has moons which revolve around these planets. The solar system. Our earth is a planet and it gets light from the sun. It moves around the sun. Its movement around the sun is called the revolution of the earth, and its movement of revolving around itself, it is called as the rotation of the earth. Besides earth, there are 7 other planets which revolves around the sun. They are Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So every planet in the solar system revolves around the sun along a specific path. That path is known as the orbit. The sun, which is a star, and the planets that revolves it are together called as a solar system. Besides the planets and of the solar system also includes very heavenly bodies. These are satellites. Some heavenly bodies revolve around the planet. These are called as a satellite. The satellite too get their light from the sun. We see the moon at night. It revolves around the earth, hence it is called a satellite of the earth. Most of the planets in the solar system have satellites. The planets revolve around the sun along with their satellites. So, student, here we have a picture of a satellite, that the moon of the earth, and another picture which shown below is above of the solar system, that the sun, very bright star which is in the center of the solar system, and from this sun we get the light. This is the picture of solar system, that the sun is in the center and the celestial body, that the planets revolving around the sun. The Mercury is the nearest planet to the sun, then Venus on the second, and Earth with its moon on the third. They have their own orbits. After Earth, there is a Mars, and these are the nearest planets to the sun, and after that there is a Jupiter, which is the most or bigger planets in this solar system. Then Saturn with its belt, then Uranus and Neptune. The Pluto is called as a dwarf planet because it revolves around the sun independently. It does not come into the gravitational force of the sun. So the Pluto is referred as a dwarf planet. Another celestial body that the asteroids. Between the planets and Mars and Jupiter, there is a bound a numerous of small heavenly bodies is bound of a numerous small asteroid. Asteroid also revolves around the sun. Compared to the sun, other heavenly bodies in the solar system are much smaller. The sun, the moon is the closest to the earth. That is why it appears to be the big, although it is actually very much smaller than the sun. So in this picture we saw the whole solar system, and with its sun and planetary system, with its moon and other asteroids which moving around the sun. this solar system, uh, there exists a gravitational force of the sun. Due to this gravitational force of the sun, all the planet revolves around the sun with its own object or orbit, and as we seen that the in Diwali we uh, have a firecracker is called as a rocket. It is packed with the explosive substance, and explosive substance burns rapidly to produce a lot of energy. The design of the rocket in such a way that the firecracker is pushed in a certain distance directions at a great speed. The very powerful rockets also used to send a spacecraft into the space. A tremendous quantity of fuel is burned in the rocket so that the spacecraft, weighing thousands of tons, can be launched into space. In the 20th century, a few countries of the world developed a space technology and sent a hundred of a spacecraft into space. Our country is well known for the development of its space launch technology. Some spacecraft remains in the space, some other brought back to the earth, while some lands on the other planets or a satellite. In some missions, scientists also travels in the spacecraft called astronaut. We have our own astronaut, that is Rakesh Sharma is the first astronaut who go into the space on the joint mission of ISRO and Soviet intercoms. We also launches uh, a space mission called Chandrayaan on the 22nd October 2008. The Indian Space Research ISRO launches a spacecraft uh, to the moon called the mission known as the Chandrayaan 1. Mangalyaan is another important Indian space mission. It is known as a MOM or a Mars orbit mission. It got established in the orbit around the planet Mars on 24 September 2014. ISRO achieved this feat in its first attempt. Both the missions are unmanned. There were no people on the board these spacecraft. The objective of the mission is a deeper study of the moon and Mars. There we sent a man-made satellite into the space through which we studied the agriculture. We collect the more information about the environment, weather forecasting, making maps, and searching the water and mineral wealth on the earth. They are also used for the telecommunication in today's life. It is very useful um, in our day to day life. So, student, we will stop here in this lecture. In another lecture, we will study this lesson in a deep with the more example and exercises. So we will stop here.